a lesson. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me. The chances of quitting are likely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes. Don't make excuses, they never excite me. Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, quitting was never an option. Exhausted, this passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it, nah, you cannot stop it.
Good morning, Knicks Universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Knicks Morning Brew on this Friday, December 22nd. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my compadres. I got my guy Phil, all caps, and I got my guy, the one and only Mr. Jiggaman Porto.
What up? Good morning, Hector.
Good morning, bros. Good morning.
Good morning. I see we got people creeping in the building.
Oh, yeah.
Early. What up, chat? We got a lot.
Shout out to the chat.
We got AKA Uncle Folio in the building with us today.
Yes, one of my faves out there.
Look, I know it's a Knicks show, but can we take a quick second here? Hector, you all right, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. We lost out on Yamamoto. You feel me? I know Folio is a Met fan as well. The Dodgers suck. That's all I'm going to say. The Dodgers suck. Ohtani suck. Yamamoto, I hope you stub your
$1 billion team.
I hope you stub your toe, motherfucker. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man, demonetized first 5 seconds of the show. Welcome to Snap. What up, Philly? You good?
Yeah, chilling. Yeah,
guys, we got a lot to talk about today. Let's not waste time. I think we were thinking our boy was going to be a little late today. I see he's backstage.
Yeah.
Look, he got me trying to work the transitions early. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick transition.
Hit the transition.
AKA, go. What it do?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Josh. I'm right there with you, bro. What's good? Good morning.
Good morning. Heck, Jiggaman, Phil. Good to be on with you guys. I finally made it to the Knicks Morning Brew. I have time in the mornings now, early afternoon. So it's always a pleasure being on with y'all, man. Hope all is well.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, all is good. All is good, Folio.
Before we get it rolling, man, let's do a roll call. Let's do
a little bit of the roll call for our guy Uncle Folio, who's in the beeper. I got my guy Reaper in the building. Reaper, how you doing? Of course, Blood of the Panther, the top moderator of all the moderators. Building Blocks, how you doing? My guy JJ, salute. 3 capital S's like J Boogie always says. Knicks are nice CAA affiliate. We are sitting at 2,184 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 3,000 subs. But fellas, we got our guy Uncle Folio, who was one of my favorite Knick content creators out there. Uncle Folio, for the folks in the chat that don't know who the fuck you are, and they're probably living under a rock, let them know. Who is Josh? Who is Uncle Folio? Let them know, brother.
Well, once again, thank y'all for having me on. Salute to the chat out there. Salute to the Morning Brew Sports Network. Salute to everybody. I see a lot of people that are normally in my show in this comment section as well. My name is Josh, a.k.a. Uncle Folio. I'm a member of the Nothing But Knicks panel, Nothing But Knicks Network. I have my own show in there called The Controversy that I'm now rolling out once a week now. So my last episode I did last week. You know what I mean? Check me out. And you might hear some stuff you don't want to hear, but who cares?
He said, I'm gonna hit them with consistency and then follow it up with a
that's right. You know what I mean? You're trying to be real with it, you know what I'm saying? But that's me, you know what I mean? Check me out on Nothing But Knicks. Like and subscribe to that channel. And yeah, let's do it.
Well, guys, I love that you said you'll talk about whatever you want and people got to deal with it, which kind of is a great segue to start this conversation. Because I was like, how do we want to start today off? But I mean, how could we not start with the little Hammon conversation going on? She got that what you talk about Becky here in the corner because, I mean, let's be real. Knicks don't have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude. And KP, of course, was like, they do have that dude, Jalen Brunson. What do you guys feel about this? He's too small stuff. And granted, I know the entire Knicks fan base right now, everybody's on the same page. Like, why is it every time we come off a win or good wins, like we did with the Suns, we did this game, like instantly it turns into you need to go make a trade. You need to get better. Why can't they just give us our flowers? Because I'm sorry, in this case, I'm gonna roll with size don't matter. Jalen Brunson is him. But I'm gonna start it off with Folio, bro. Go ahead. What'd you think about the comments, man?
Okay, so I mean, I'm not like every other Knicks fan. That's obvious, right? I absolutely agree with Becky Hammon here. And it's not no shade, no slight against Jalen Brunson. I love Jalen Brunson. I thought he was by far the highlight of this front office. Is as far as transactions, he's the highlight, right? You sign him to that contract, create that space to sign him. But I think the Knicks do need that guy, and they still need to go out and get that guy. And Jiggaman, you asked the question, well, how come after we have a couple wins, it's like they don't want to give us our flowers? It's because after the 2 losses that we had, all the fans were saying the same thing, right? And that's just how it is. It's up and down with New York. But I don't think anybody that is non-biased, really think that the Knicks are going to have a chance of being a contender this year, right? Or next year if they keep the same roster. You got to go out and get you another guy to put alongside the core of Randle and Brunson, and then I think we can be talking about some real contention. But until then, the Knicks are going to be mid, and I agree with Becky Hammon here, 100%.
Yeah. And when it comes to those comments, I'm right there with you, Folio, because these are conversations we've been having all season so far, right? When it comes to the way our roster is constructed, we know Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett aren't the guys to take us over the hill and get us to that next level. We've had these conversations. Who's that star that we got to bring in to pair next to Jalen Brunson to take it to that next level? But I think it kind of hurts a little bit when the media is saying it. We get all defensive. So when someone else points out the obvious, I'm going to get defensive and be like, what are you talking about? Jalen Brunson is him. He is our guy, Becky Hammon. But no, I definitely agree with you, Folio. The comments from Becky Hammon, they may have been random, came out of left field. I wasn't expecting her to say what she said and how she said it. But these are all conversations we've had on this show and on other shows. Different content creators done had the same conversation. Am I surprised that Becky Hammon came out and said it how she said it? Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. But Kendrick Perkins, shout out to Big Perk for always showing his love for Knicks fans and going to war for his guys, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. But when you look at it, Becky Hammon, she ain't saying nothing new that we haven't said over here on the Knicks Morning Brew.
Yeah,
what about you, Phil?
It's crazy to me that this is actually a topic of frustration for people. Like, at the end of the day, there is not a single New York Knicks content creator. If there's more than one voice on the show, whether you have a guest or something, that has said that we are still a piece or two away from contention. Like, when you have that 1A star that you're talking about, you don't have that conversation that you're still this many pieces away from contention, because you feel like that guy can at least get you into that point of contention. So yes, Jalen Brunson is our one. Jalen Brunson is our guy. If she would have came out and said Jalen Brunson is just a mid-tier player, no, she said he's an all-star. Yeah. She's clarified that he is, a all-NBA team. He should be all-NBA. She's giving flowers, but she's also being realistic. It's only the Knicks fans that are like looking through Knicks freaking colored goggles that think that Jalen Brunson is, the next Michael Jordan. Like, Brunson is a great player. But at the end of the day, if I have to take a 1A tier person and say, okay, am I going to put all my eggs in the basket of Steph Curry in a game 7 or Jalen Brunson? I'm gonna have to say Steph. Why? Because it's been proven. Like, he's been proven. If we have to go and say, okay, if we have to choose a 1A of Jokic or a 1A of Jalen Brunson, who do I think is the one that can be the one that you can really bank on nonstop? I'm gonna say Jokic. Not against Brunson, because Brunson's great. But we've seen it within the 20-something games that there are times that the length and his height deficiencies have caused issues where teams throw their bigger guy on and he's spending all night exhausted trying to shoot over them. So it's not a diss, in my opinion, in any way, shape, or form. She gave the guy his flowers, but they were realistic flowers. Like, let's just be real with what we have. He is a great player, but he is not that guy. Like, he's going to be an all-star, just like a lot of the other all-stars, but he's not going to be that 1A top tier Hall of Famer player right now. He's not. Is that to say that he can't develop into that? No, I'm not going to be that guy, because we've seen crazier things happen. But at this point in time, she was asked a question about right now, and she gave an answer about right now. So I have no problems with it. And I think people that are making a big deal about it actually just make me laugh on the timeline, because I'm just like, what are you seeing that I'm not?
Good, Josh.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to add, I think there's a caveat to this whole thing, right? I think, well, first we have to understand that she said 1A, she meant on a championship contender, right? Because Brunson's our 1A to some people. I still think it's an argument to be made for Randle. I think you can go either way with that. Most people would choose Brunson right now. It's a popularity contest. We know that, right?
Word.
But I think the caveat to this whole thing is if the Knicks go out, let's say, and they get another all-star winger guard, right? And let's say that player is on the same caliber as a Brunson. Brunson, I think that team, if you add that player to a core of Randle and Brunson, that team could contend. And Brunson may very well still be the 1A on that particular squad, right? So I think that's the caveat for me. But I think what the big overarching thing, what she was saying was, as concurrently constructed, Brunson is not going to be a 1A on title contender, right? And that's why I'm very, very bullish. I want the Knicks to be aggressive and go out and get a guy to add to this core. Use Evan Fournier's money before it goes away. You can't use it. Please, for the love of me, use that money, because if not, he's going to walk or the Knicks going to cut him. And then that's money you could have, put to good use.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, too, for me, the funny part of the comment was it continues the same conversation we've been having since the offseason, where size does matter, right? And we win a game and everybody's like, oh, size doesn't matter. We lose, it's like size matters. It does matter. Like, even when we jump into Taj here in a minute, right? More undersized, like that's the conversation you're getting. Hey, Taj is there, but he's still more of an undersized guy. By you guys losing Mitch, right? The other part that I thought was hilarious, though, is the timeline, is the fan base, right? Because it reminds me, like, I'll talk shit about my brother, okay? Phil's my actual brother. I'll be like, man, he's such a But if someone else said that about Phil, I'm fighting. I'm like, why are you talking? Right? And that's how we are with our players, because just a week ago, everybody was like, well, what do we think about maybe if you did get rid of Jalen Brunson? We're like, what the hell? Hold on. So the fact that someone else was saying it brought all of us together. So sometimes Knicks for clicks, it works, guys. It brings us all together when one person is talking bad about our team. But I mean, it's hard to disagree with reports. And she did come back and clarify, right? She said what she said, and everything about the Spurs and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, Jalen is our guy, but I think the conversation still ends up with, we still know we need a 1A. Or like you said, Josh, he could be that 1A, but you still need the other pieces. That's the biggest issue at hand. Yes.
It's so weird to me that someone has to come by and clarify something like that. Like, to me, watching the first interview, it was clear what she was saying. It wasn't, her taking stabs. She was pretty clear on giving him, that he is a good player, that he is a great player, So I think it's just hilarious that, like, our fan base just shows how, like, big and loud we can be, that within, like, 24 hours, someone has to come back on, on media and be like, hey, hold on. For those of you who want me crucified and probably slid in my DM with death threats, like, I'm not hating on Jalen Brunson. Like, it's just funny that we're that extreme. Because I don't think it was that extreme of a comment, especially because if you've watched any in your pocket, like, paid by the Knicks fan content, like, some of us have said that in some way, shape, or form. We just get mad about it because she's not in an orange and blue hat, So it's just funny to me.
Yeah, and also,
I think
go
ahead.
No, I just wanted to add on real quick, Josh. And when it comes to Becky Hammons, we're not talking about somebody that never played in Madison Square Garden. Like, she played on the Liberty. Like, she played majority of her career in Madison Square Garden. So when it comes to Becky Hammon, I think she knows what it takes to play inside of New York City. Now, is there a faction of Knicks fans that may look at the WNBA and may laugh at it? Absolutely. But it is what it is when it comes to Becky Hammon being being a legend in the WNBA and playing at the Garden when she was on the Liberty. Go ahead, Josh.
No, I just was going to add, I thought everybody coming out of ESPN, ESPN doesn't care about us. It's a bias. Fans are the same way. Fans are the other side of that coin. Literally, like, if you want to talk about, like, and I watched this video that one of the other channels put together one of the popular ones put together. I'm not going to say the name, and they put it together, and they said that they created fan controlled podcasts because the media wouldn't give us a fair shake. But the literal definition of being a fan is to have those biases, those same biases that you think that the media has against us. The fans have the same biases for us, and sometimes that can cloud everything, right? So I think the fans are just as irrational as much as they claim the media to be. You know what I mean? ESPN doesn't hate us. There's no incentive for ESPN or the NBA or TNT to hate us. We just stank for years, and we have to prove that we can win. And until we do that, there you go.
The last thing about the Hammon thing is there was actually a point when people were talking about who should replace Thibodeau that a huge part of the fan base was saying, why don't we consider Becky Hammon? And all of a sudden, all of a sudden, it's now Becky Hammon don't know ball. It's like, wait a minute, you wanted her. Like, I can search your tweets where you wanted her to be the coach, and now you're saying she doesn't know anything about basketball because she had a critical take about our team. So I always thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Go ahead, Sos.
Facts. I was about to say, we'll look at some of these comments in the chat because I see MIG in the chat. He's come with a little bit of that, a little violence this morning. But he started off with nobody wants to do business with us, fellas. You don't see. And then you ready for the big one? Oh, believe we the fans are the problem. Why? We keep supporting front office garbage. We boycott, we will see a change. Till then, nothing will change.
I see what you're saying, right? But I do recognize that this front office under Leon Rose, we've had a level of consistency we haven't seen since the 90s. When you look at the past 4 years, there's only one season we missed the postseason, right? So when you look at since Tom Thibodeau has been here, looking at the trajectories, if everything still goes the same way this year, we could be in the postseason 3 out of the 4 years under Tom Thibodeau as a head coach. We have Mitchell Robinson, who we drafted in the second round, who we developed into a starter. Granted, he's injured. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. But we finally have a draft picks that we can look back and say, wow, they're part of our starting lineup, and we drafted him. I know Quentin Grimes is not in the starting unit. But when you look at the players that we've drafted, IQ, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Mitchell Robinson. Can anybody name any 4 Knicks that we've drafted and developed and extended in a 4-year span? You can't. Not the Channing Frys of the world, not the David Lees of the world, not the Nate Robinsons of the world. It's like you can't. So if you want to give credit to Leon Rose, you can. If you don't want to give credit to Leon Rose, I'm still going to have a conversation with you at the end of the day. But I understand that we aren't the laughing stock of the NBA like the Detroit Pistons. I understand we used to be the punching bag. The New York Knicks used to be the #1 joke. And then the joke got worse when Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving decided to go to the Brooklyn Nets over the New York Knicks. So that's when the joke got a little bit harder and it cut a little bit deeper. So I understand under the leadership of Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau, I know I'm trying to find a silver lining here. We have had a level of consistency we haven't had in a long time. And he just says, oh, thank you, sir. God bless you. God bless your soul.
Shout out Jay Boogie in the building. Shout out to the chat and panel.
Boogie.
Blessings, health, and happiness. My youngest uncle's in the building. When I say Uncle Folio, salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's. I'm telling you, we got to have it recorded, bro. I want a button. I can just hit the Jay Boogie button. You know what I mean? Salute, salute. I just need it.
Salute to Jay Boogie. Salute to the OG,
salute to
man.
Jay Boogie.
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, let's switch it up for a second here. Let's jump into, obviously, we got to talk about the Mitch situation, man. Sham had put the report out. NBA, they put $7.8 million disabled player exception. And then the heartbreaker, man, seeing him put it up, I just don't get it. I do everything I'm asked when it comes to my body, and this shit still happens. Like WTF, another year, another disappointment. Go ahead, Josh. How you feeling about the Mitch situation?
Well, I mean, I think it's tough because Mitchell Robinson was having a great season. I think he was going to be all NBA defense, or at least in the early conversation for it. He was just playing great. You've seen the development. You've seen his offensive game kind of expand a little bit. They were finding him. But I think this Mitchell Robinson situation it goes a little bit deeper for me. And I'm just going to go off on a little bit of a tangent. It's related, but it's going to be off on a little bit. I believe the Knicks idea and this whole Thibodeau style defense first idea is flawed. It's completely flawed in my opinion. It's so 90s-esque. It's like not relevant to today's NBA. the Knicks, they look terrible. Once Mitchell Robinson went out the lineup, the Knicks looked terrible. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't stop anybody. It was just horrible, right? And then luckily we put Isaiah Hartenstein in there. Sims was gone, and we were able to change some things around. But I just think the issue is depending on your starting center to be that big of a thing for you, that there's no redundancy with shot blocking and rim protection. Put it to you that way. I think the Knicks should focus more on offense and getting players that can come in here and score, put the basketball in the hole, and then worry about the defense as an afterthought. You know what I mean? Not necessarily don't play any defense, but they need to outscore teams and get players in here that can put the ball in the hole, and then worry about making key defensive stops at certain points in the game. But this whole idea of playing defensive first and, depending on Mitchell Robinson, that much, I think was flawed to begin with. So it sucks. I feel bad for Mitch. We got to make a decision to make this offseason if we're going to keep Hartenstein around, re-sign him, or trade Mitch. That's going to be a choice that we're going to have to talk about. But, I think we'll do whatever we can throughout the season to survive without Mitch. It's just going to be tough.
I just want to say when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I understand as a Knicks fan, we are upset because from the reports, it looked like he will be out for the rest of the season. Let's see what happens towards the end when he is reevaluated. But that's what it looks like right now when it comes to Mitchell Robinson and his injury. I just want to wish Mitchell Robinson a speedy recovery, right? As Knicks fans, we got to separate the basketball side of things from the real life side of things. In real life, this man is not going to be playing basketball, his career, his job for the rest of the season. So I hope Mitchell Robinson a speedy recovery. Now, when it comes to the front office, they have to pivot. And they have to make a pivot ASAP. Josh brought up the fact that we're still sitting on Evan Fournier and his expiring contract. We have draft picks that we have to trade. If not, they're going to go to waste. We have the Mavericks top 10 protected pick, which most likely will convey this season. When it comes to the Wizards and the Pistons pick, I'm not sure about that. That's not going to convey no time soon. But we have some picks that we can trade. We have to get creative. Don't just make a trade just for making a trade. I think some options some people put out there. My guy Eddie, he's been talking about Andre Drummond from the Chicago Bulls. If we can have him as a backup to Isaiah Hartenstein, someone just to hold down the paint until Mitchell Robinson comes back. If he comes back this year or next year, we just need another big body to help Isaiah Hartenstein, because Isaiah Hartenstein, he's playing himself into a big bag this offseason. I'm not sure if he can handle 38 minutes a game for the rest of the season. That's why we need to go out there and get another body besides Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson is going to give us everything he can, but he's up there in age, may not have the stamina to be able to go back and forth with some of the bigs that are in the league right now. So if we could call up the Bulls and get Drummond for a late first round pick or some second round picks, or swapping Evan Fournier's contract with another team, we can do that. Or if you guys want to call up Boogie Cousins, that way we can have the two bullies in the paint, Julius Randle and DeMarcus Cousins. That's an option we could go to as well. But Cousins is probably going to be in the same boat like Taj Gibson, not playing at home. Does he have the stamina? He had injuries, especially in the later part of his career, so we don't even know what DeMarcus Cousins is going to look like. So it's up to Leon Rose.
He's playing in Puerto Rico right now.
Pivot. Weapon?
I think he's playing in Puerto Rico right now. I've read that somewhere.
Oh, I thought he was playing in China.
One of them. No, he's playing overseas somewhere.
Yeah. So the unfortunate thing with the whole Mitch thing is, like, you see a guy like Zion Williamson over there in New Orleans, and he's pretty much ate his way out of his like elite contract, like just does not care about himself, like is not taking this seriously, like to the point where you were drafted first and now you don't have a guaranteed contract because of how you've taken care of your physical body throughout the last 2 years. And then you got Mitchell Robinson, who like has done everything that you would want a player to do when it comes to trying to stay in shape, trying to actually take care of yourself. And now he's dealing with this stuff. And for me, you know, it's more than basketball. You know, like when you're a guy of that status and have that much of a public like following, and you're posting that stuff online, like you're really broken, you know, like you're really like screaming out for everybody and anybody to like hear you, you know, because that's just a lot to be, you know, to share with the world that you are battling with this emotionally, you know, so that's huge for me. Is I want him to bounce back, not just for basketball, not just for the Knicks, but just for his mental, you know. When it comes to the team, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I said it before he got injured, so I feel fine saying it, you know, after, is the way that our team was constructed, it wasn't going to work with the have a big man that just stands in the paint, because all of our guys thrive in the paint. Like, we don't have a team of lethal shooters, and we don't have the DeMar DeRozans of the league that are playing outside of the paint and getting buckets. All of our guys are trying to drive, you know, and then getting an open three and then taking it from there. But a lot of it's in the paint. So when you saw Mitch come out and you saw Hartenstein actually move around and out of the paint, it actually has opened up the paint for a lot of our players. So it works a little bit better offensively, flowing wise. Obviously, we suffered in the beginning with, you know, some of the defense and the rebounds, but then all of a sudden Hartenstein started becoming a rebounding, you know, like monster in that one game where he reached his season high. So it's like, okay, I don't think it's as big of a concern for our season as we might have first thought. But it also makes us go, what's the direction that we're going? Like, what are we doing? Like, if this is the kind of play that we get from Hartenstein, what does this mean for the future? I know some people aren't like down to re-sign him, but I'm like, but if our offense flows better and our defense isn't suffering really bad, why would you not want to re-sign that guy and see what things look like? You know, like, because as much as we love Mitch, Mitch has been injured. You know, Mitch has been injured a lot of his career with us. You know,
I was about to ask you, do you remember how many games it was last year? It has been every season, right? We've dealt with an injury from every season.
Yeah.
This is just the best start we've had in forever.
Yeah, I'll look up to see how many games he's lost over the past couple. He's missed over the past couple of seasons.
You're good. And so I posted, you know, when it happened, like 5 minutes after it was announced that he'll be most likely out for the season, I said we got to look for some guys, you know, and the two I said were Cousins and Howard. And the reason is because where we are losing is strength in the paint. Like, we don't have like strength in the paint right now. And so with Dwight Howard, regardless of his age, we're not looking for him to start. But he's always been a physical and offensive, like, minded player. Like, he can play both ends of, you know, the court. And he's been in shape. Like, he's been playing nonstop since he's been out of the league, you know, as opposed to some others where it's like you reach back out to them, who knows how many, like, bag of Doritos they've been eating since the time they played in the NBA. They're in
podcast shape. That's what it is.
Exactly. Him and Cousins have stayed in shape. I thought it was hilarious watching, you know, freaking Julius Randle's post-game interview the other day. They were talking about Taj, and he said something like, they were like, well, you know, what do you think about Taj? And he's like, he thought he was coming to hang out and play a few minutes. Little did he know, he's dusting off. He's got 38 minutes coming up now. Better be ready. You know? So I think it's funny because we all know, Taj knows he's not in that kind of shape. So we definitely got to do something for the rest of the season.
When you look at the games over the past several years, last year, Mitchell Robinson played in 59 games, right? So he missed about 23 games last season. The season before that was the most, obviously his contract walk year as well, but played the most games of his career, 72 games. So that was once in his career. 2020 to 2021, 31 games. Before that, 61 games, in his rookie season, 66 games. So this is someone who's been battling injuries his entire career. It just sucks because he was having such a great start to the season, leading the team in steals, being one of the top 5 or top 10 defenders in the league when it comes to steals. We've been having conversations that he should be in the talks when it comes to all defensive first teams, maybe in the conversation for defensive player of the year. He was having such a great start to the season, and it just sucks to see that every year, no matter what he does, his body just breaks down on him. Now, it could be him, or it could just be luck. I mean, it could just be a spurn or just bad luck. And I think it's what it is with Mitchell Robinson. It's just bad luck, and it sucks to see it happening, man. It just sucks.
Do you guys, because obviously, go ahead, Josh. I'll throw it to you here in a second, but obviously the biggest thing is everybody's now talking about, what's that move to go, right? Before it was what player do we want to go get? Now we're kind of focused in on who's the center we go get, right? Because everybody's kind of like, hey, we need another center. Like, and I'll let you go, Josh, and then follow up afterwards. Like, is there a guy that you've got your eye on that you think makes sense, whether it be through free agency or a trade?
So for me, first to Phil's point, I think the whole thing about Dwight Howard is pretty much not going to happen. We all know what's going on with him right now. And I think the NBA is really kind of blackballing him in a way. Stephen A. Smith kind of spoke about this a lot. Yeah. That's the reason why. Because Dwight Howard can still play. There's no doubt about it. And he should have been on the team the past couple seasons. But, there's something going on with him. So I think that's out of the question. I like Drummond. I think that's a good move, a good temporary move. He's not going to be playing the same amount of minutes that he's playing right now in Chicago, right? He's not going to be playing the same amount of minutes he's going to be doing there. But I think we can pull off a trade with him and DeRozan, or with him and Levine. I think DeRozan's a little bit a better fit, or not better fit, but I think as far as the money, us not giving up as much assets, we can pull off a trade with Drummond and Levine, get those guys into New York, and I think we'll be really set for the rest of the season and throughout the playoffs, right? If we get a Levine or DeRozan type on the wing. So Phil, my question to you is, you said, you got to basically figure out what we're going to do with Hartenstein. Are you willing to sign him and then trade Mitch? Because we can still trade Mitch. I know that's going to hurt a lot of people. Like, it's going to be doing them dirty, but would you do that?
Here's the thing. I love Mitch, but how many seasons can we go with the question mark of will he be there? Like with Tibbs, especially as the coach, he builds everything around our offense and defense are revolved around this centerpiece guy. Like, he's going to grab our offensive rebounds when all of our shots don't fall. So at least we'll get second opportunities instead of getting lethal shooters. Like, that's, so as much as I like Mitch, he's kind of been a Band-Aid on the insufficiencies of a New York offense and defense. Because, it requires, honestly, all of our guys to put in a little more effort on defense. Like, I've actually seen Julius Randle play more defense with Hartenstein, being there than I ever have with Mitch, because he can't just rely on Mitch picking everything up. Like, is it elite and crazy defense? No, but it's at least happening, So me personally, I think that at least gives us a two-sided center. As much as I like Mitch, you're not getting a bucket. You're leaving a lot of free throws on the table. Like, it's always a team's MO to hack a Mitch. In a close game, just hack Mitch. As long as Mitch gets the ball, hack him, send him to the free throw line. Like, that's always going to be a liability for us moving forward. Especially you get to game 7 of a playoff run, and we're down 1, and Mitch gets the rebound, you just foul right there.
It's the reason why I said the system is just so outdated. Like, depending on Mitch to be the end all be all, both offensively and defensively, is just outdated. And I think the Knicks got to kind of move on from that. And I think this move with Hartenstein kind of forces Tibbs and in that regard to, let's go away from Mitch. Let's see if we can build something else. And I think our offense is benefiting from it. So I agree with you.
To Josh's point, I definitely agree with you that the offense is super outdated. It's like an old MacBook that haven't got a system software update since 2008. That's what it feels like. And when you look at Mitchell Robinson and what Josh brought up about trading him in the offseason, what works in our favor is the fact that, one, this is a guy, when he's healthy, he can be a top defender in the league. And 2, his contract is very team friendly. So if you're a team like the Charlotte Hornets, who may need a center, $14 million next year, $12 million the year after, it's not that much money to take when it comes to a gamble on a guy who has injury history. Now, if Mitchell Robinson was making 24 to 25 million, now that's more of a gamble when it comes to your salary cap and its implications. But 14 million next year, 12 million the year after, that's a gamble that some teams that are struggling from the center position are willing to take, because his contract is very team friendly.
So all I'm hearing
I didn't think about Charlotte with that. I didn't think about that. That's actually a good.
Yeah, so we could steal a first round pick from Charlotte if we want to move Mitchell Robinson in the offseason.
So all I'm hearing is we're signing Nerlens Noel next week. Is that what everybody's saying?
I'm not signing Nerlens. Get the band back together. Let's get Nerlens Noel. I think Alfred Payton is out there as well. Let's get back Alfred Payton. Anybody got a post on Frank Ntilikina? We got to get Frank Ntilikina back to the Garden.
Run it back real quick. Let's say what's up real quick. I saw Udell Yosef in the building.
What it do, my guy?
Nick P is in the building. Chanda Champ. I sure messed that one up. Nick and Nate in the building. What it do, my guy? F-Sen6 in the building. Oh boy, Stafford Don is in the building.
Salute,
Jonathan, JJ. Everybody, if we didn't say your name, open panel is coming up shortly, guys. We'll drop the link here in a bit. Go ahead.
I wanna just do one more thing because I want to shout out the ladies at the Knicks OmniFan. I want to take a 1 minute pause, on the conversation. One, to make sure everybody is drinking their water, stay hydrated. Mental health is something very important. So always check on your friends, check on your family, especially during the holiday season. During this time is a bad time for a lot of people that deal with depression. So make sure you reach out to your folks. Make sure you reach out to your people. If somebody says they're fine, that doesn't automatically make them fine. So like I said, I want to shout out to the Knicks OmniFan ladies. This Saturday, Knicks versus the Bucks. I will be in the building. If you guys are planning or trying to get some tickets to the game, click the link in the description for the Knicks OmniFan. They got a package at the Chase Lounge. I'll play the video momentarily, and we will be back after a 1 minute break.
New York City. Looking for an elevated Knicks experience at MSG? If so, welcome to the Chase Lounges with OmniFan, where Knicks fandom meets luxury. You'll come face to face with Knicks history when you get to meet a Knicks legend, take a pic, and get their autograph. Pretty dope, right? Food's on us in the lounges, so eat up and enjoy. It's always a private party in the lounges, so it's definitely giving VIP vibes. There's tables and chairs for you to eat and space to stretch your legs, walk around, and mingle with fans. And it's not an OmniFan event without trivia. It's fun, interactive, and everyone can participate. We always have a raffle in the Chase Lounges for your chance to win autographed items or even a pair of Knicks tickets. The prizes are so good, you'll be saying bing bang. And last but not least, we always have the hypest fans in the building, so you know it's lit. And it's family friendly. So ditch the everyday MSG experience and level up to a Chase Lounge with OmniFan this Saturday, December 23rd. And if you purchase now, you'll be entered into a raffle to win a pair of Knicks versus Hawks tickets. There's only a few tickets left, so don't be the one left scrolling highlights while everyone else is living it up in person. Trust us and thank us later.
Yeah, I love that.
Like I said, link is in the description. Your purchase includes a tickets to the Knicks versus the Bucks game, an exclusive Knicks gift bag, a Knicks alumni meet and greet. So you can run into John Starks, you can run into Larry Johnson, one of the former Knicks, in-lounge food and soft drinks, and it's an automatic entry for a chance to win a pair of tickets for the Knicks versus the Hawks on March 5th, 2024. Prizes and quizzes. Trust me, you guys don't want to miss out. The Knicks OmniFans, they do a good thing when it comes to bringing their community together. But we'll throw it over to Uncle Folio.
By the way,
go ahead, Sos.
Don't find Nickinator when you're at the game tomorrow. That man's about to have you arrested, bro. He is throwing you in jail for the Alfred comment.
Oh man, but no. Let's switch up topics. Go ahead, Sos.
Yeah, well, no, and that's why I was saying, because I read the article I don't know if you guys saw Fred Katz's article with options. That article was dope. If you didn't check that one out, check that one out in The Athletic. But then the one I read this morning was on SB Nation, where they threw out all different names that we should be looking at. Drummond obviously was on there. They did have Nerlens Noel on there because of the fact he's a free agent when it costs anything. Mike Muscala, they had DeAndre Jordan, Mason Plumlee. I want to ask, because I saw Jay Boogie put it in there, what are your guys' thoughts on Plumlee as an option to come over here?
I like Plumlee. I mean, listen, I think any move the Knicks are getting at this point is just adding to what we already have. I mean, particularly for like the center spot. That's what I didn't read those articles specifically. I definitely gotta check those out. I'm normally quick with that. That's kind of crazy. I didn't really catch it. But I like Plumlee. I think Plumlee can be a nice fit for us, good backup center. I think Artenstein is going to start for the rest of the season. No doubt about it. I don't think there's no center that we bring in at this point that's going to start over him. So, yeah, I like Plumlee. That cheap move. Somebody cheap, basically, to go on and be an emergency backup center if we need one. So, yeah, I'm cool with Plumlee.
Yeah. I like Plumlee.
I think people throwing his name in there. I thought he was injured, wasn't he, right now, or coming off an injury again?
I think he was coming off of an injury, if anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Phil. My bad.
The thing about Plumlee that I like is that, like, he doesn't get the recognition that he kind of deserves. But he is a tough center. Like, he plays both ends of the court, and like, he's willing to, defend. He's willing to score. But he's just a strong presence regardless. Like, he's a hustle kind of player. And so that's one thing that, like, I think a player like that would see some minutes. Like, the last thing you want to do is make a move and find out that that person doesn't have the character and DNA that Tibbs is so like gung-ho for, and we don't actually utilize them in any way, shape, or form, and we pretty much burn iHeart to the ground before the playoffs. Like, that's not what we want. We want someone that'll actually be able to play. And I think Plumlee's style of play and willingness to play is something that Tibbs would reward with some minutes. So I want to make sure that it's a guy that actually is able to get some burn so that we can have that, opportunity.
So you want to get someone that gives Tibbs this space, right?
Hey, what?
Brooklyn's finest. The Tibbs smile.
Did you guys watch that interview? Did you watch that, Uncle Folio?
I did the post game. Yeah, I did.
Oh man, that Brooklyn comment had me dying. Like, when they asked about Taj and he said, "Oh, Brooklyn's finest," and then smiled. I was just like, "Yo, that is like salt in the wound." That if that was the Tibbs that we always had, I might like him a little bit more. Like, if he was always salty like that.
Well, let's jump in while we're still on the topic of what's going on with the team. Highlights from the Knicks and Nets game. Like, what did you see as positives, and did you have any concerns after that game, Josh?
Well, I like the defense. We stepped up the defense on the defensive end. Brooklyn, teams like Brooklyn, they got some players, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, they got some players, but they're not on the Knicks level. The Knicks are like another tier above them, right? So those teams, I didn't really see anything that really stood out for me, but I like the fact that we stepped up the defense. Obviously, you go up against Milwaukee and Boston, you give up 140, and then the Clippers 140-something points. That's too much, right? So I just like the fact that we locked in on the defensive end, hit our shots early and often, and we came out with a W. So I really didn't see anything that stood out too crazy, but I'm just happy that we were able to get back to our defensive ways, and win the game like that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I like the fact that we won the game against the Brooklyn Nets, right? We haven't beat the Nets under the KD and Kyrie Irving team when they were over there, but I'm happy that we won. Like Josh said, the defense stepped up. It looked like a totally different defensive scheme out there. Now, I am going to say now, there were some, not some chances, but a lot of chances that the Nets had that were wide open opportunities, and they were just not making their shots, right? So when it comes to just having guys wide open, I have an issue with that. Yes, they're supposed to make their shots. They didn't make their shots, and we won the game. So our defense looked a lot better. I just don't want to see that many open shots. When it comes to Cam Johnson, like you said, Josh, he's their best player over there in Brooklyn, right? Ben Simmons is out. He got that big money, but we all know Cam Johnson is the best player that they have over there on the Brooklyn Nets.
I would say Bridges. I think Bridges is their best player. He didn't play like it though, but yeah.
I was going to say with Bridges, I was going to say, like, there was a lot of Net fans in Twitter spaces complaining about how bad Bridges was. And if you Net fans out there want to say how bad Bridges is, I'll take him off your hands if that's the case. If you guys want to make a trade, a couple first round picks, I'll take Bridges off your hands if you're saying he's your worst player that you had out there. Obviously, they're a little bit upset because they lost the game to the Knicks. But like I said, I'm happy that we won. We beat the Nets, and reality is back to normal. The New York Knicks are the number one basketball team in New York City. Point blank, period.
Yeah. And so a few things, like, yeah, it was the Nets. Yeah, they didn't play great, but there's a few things that I did want to highlight. I wanted to highlight the fact that Josh Hart actually has been showing a little more of the hustle player we traded for. The fact that Josh Hart had 13 rebounds that game, that's what we need. In Mitchell Robinson's absence, we need guys that are going to step up and help on the rebounding end. And so Josh Hart came out with 13 rebounds, so you got to salute something like that. Not a great shooting night for Julius Randle, but one thing that we've been a team that struggles with is our free throws. And to actually see him, go 8 for 9, shooting almost 90%, from the free throw line, That's also huge. We're going to need that in games. You know, if you're not finding your shot and you're getting to the free throw line and you're missing them there too, like there's no point in you being on the court, you know? So being able to not be effective, you know, in shooting, but effective there. And then shout out to, you know, Dante. Dante played well. You know, Dante had 60%, you know, from the field, but 50% from three. You know, that's what we need on a team that doesn't have like elite sharpshooters all the time. We need the consistency of Dante DiVincenzo. Like, we need that. Like, we need him to be able to do that, especially if, let's say, we're not going to get the offensive rebounds that we used to get when Mitch was there. We need actual shots to fall. You know, we can't rely on second chance opportunities. We have to capitalize on those first chance opportunities. So shout out to him for, you know, the way that he played. You know, some of the other players were okay. Emanuel Quickley, you know, came in with 19 points off the bench in 23 minutes. You know, you can't complain about only getting 23 minutes and getting 19 points. So, you know, I think overall, regardless of who we played, we actually look like we played and won that as a team instead of going, oh, we won because of that guy. You know, like we actually won because we had multiple people contribute and help us get that W. And like you said, heck, if people want to complain, I was in a Twitter space where they were griping about how, you know, he played horrible. Like, I just wanted to request speaker and be like, yo, I'll come pack his bags for you. Like, it's real simple. I'll give him a Metro card, and it don't have to be the monthly. It could be a yearly. Like, I'll pay the whole thing. Like, he can get on that Metro, head over to MSG. We're good. We'll take him off your hands.
Talking about Metro cards, right? Talk about Metro cards, right, Josh? I know you was about to say you've been away from New York City for a while. They got rid of
one in a long time.
They got rid of the fun pass. You guys remember the fun pass? You pay $7 and you could just take the train all day. There's no more fun pass in New York City.
Oh wow!
The world's coming to an end. God damn it, MTA.
That's crazy. I haven't seen a Metro card in a long time. It's pretty crazy.
Celso, you muted.
Yeah. All right. Let me try that again. What I was gonna say was we did it on playback with Jerry that night, right? And one of the things we talked about was Josh Hart, right? Because especially while we're dealing with this center situation, we've been talking about size. That was the first game, I think, this season that we saw that radar in full effect, like we were seeing him last season, where it felt like he was always where the ball was, right? So seeing that side of the rebounding coming from him, huge. We need to see more of that for sure. But I'm going to say it for Benji. I'm going to say it for Knicks Are Nice. The Chenzo gang is in full effect because that was a Chenzo game, man. I love what he brings to this team. I really do. I think he's going to be a major piece for us. I am concerned, though. We've got 2 games coming up that we know are 2 games that, oh, man. You know, I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but the way we played against Brooklyn, to me, doesn't do enough to even compete against the Bucks tomorrow. Because we left that perimeter open. If they would have hit the shots that they were missing, we're having a different conversation after that game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's the same issue every freaking game is that perimeter. We rely on the other team missing their shots for us to pull away the way we do.
Yeah, and that's the part of the issue for me when it comes to Tom Thibodeau. For me personally, I wasn't a fan of the Knicks making the lineup change for Grimes for DiVincenzo so early in the season. I thought, you know, as a collective unit, the team was working. It was operating, you know, no matter what Grimes wasn't doing. I think altogether, as a collective unit, the team was operating together. I wasn't a fan of the move, but it seemed to be working out. I think DiVincenzo Grimes is the same kind of player as far as their game, catch and shoot. You're not going to give the ball to Grimes. You're not going to give the ball to DiVincenzo and say, set this up for me. You know, they're going to be receivers of the basketball. Randle, Brunson are going to, you know, give them the ball. They're going to hit shots. You know what I mean? It's just that DiVincenzo is more reliable and more consistent with that, right? So, listen, I like DiVincenzo. I think it was a good move, but I need to vent a little bit, just a little bit.
Go ahead.
And I just want to vent about the whole thing with Josh Hart. We paying this guy $20 million, essentially $20 million to come off the bench to grab rebounds for us. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I just feel like the guys.
That's for sure.
I just feel like he's overpaid, and I think the Knicks really should have prioritized Quickley and given Quickley that money rather than prioritizing Josh Hart. Because, and I get it, you know, with Josh Hart, the contract we gave him kind of helped us get DiVincenzo, the mid-level exception or whatever. but I just feel like Quickley was the guy that we really should have prioritized, and hopefully we can be able to sign him again, because without Quickley, I think he also had a really good game against Brooklyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
A decent game. But at the end of games, I think Quickley is so important to this team, the ball handling aspect. You give the ball to Quickley and have Randle and Brunson play off of him. And I just feel like Josh Hart is just so overpaid. $20 million come off the bench just to grab rebounds for us. I don't know.
Well, that's why, like, but Josh, even when Julius said it, joking around and chirping and all that, you got to feel like there was a little bit of truth, right? It's about damn time. Isn't that what we paid him to do, making all that money? Is what you're supposed to do.
A lot of truth. It was a lot of truth, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Saying that.
Julius Randle just said that the elephant that's in the room. You know what I mean? Like, come on. $20 million for this guy.
And though I agree with you, like, I think we see things different right now than the front office does, you know, when it comes to Emanuel Quickley. You know, like, I think that in the start of the season, it was cater to Tom Tibbs and his roster. Like, cater to the fact that Tibbs is a Grimes guy. Let's put everything in on this, you know, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Villanova thing, and Grimes. This is the squad that Tibbs believes in. And I think over time, it was just Grimes not continuing to show up that made them make a change. IQ has continued to show up. So now it's that big question of, is the front office going to buy in to Emanuel Quickley and pay him over $100,000? Because that's what he's going to get from another team. Like, he's going to get it. He's going to get the $25K, I believe, you know. Over
25 mil?
25 mil. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say 25K. I'm like, that's a steal.
100K. I was like, get him.
25 mil over these next, 4 years. I think he's going to get the 100 offer from another team, and we'll have to match that. Are they going to do that and get him off the bench? Or are they going to try to keep him on the bench? Like, I don't see them personally paying that and keeping him on the bench. So I think that this could be wrong. This could be my theory, and it could be wrong. These last few games, you have seen in the fourth quarter, they have been playing Jalen Brunson and IQ together on these last few games in the fourth quarter. I think this is testing grounds right now. I think that they have Dante in the starting lineup because they know that chemistry already works. I think before they buy into $100+ million contract, they're using those fourth quarter minutes to see if a Jalen Brunson IQ situation could actually pan out before making an offer like that, because I don't see them paying it for him off the bench.
And when you look, I just want to say this real quick, Josh. I'll throw it to you. And when it comes to Emanuel Quickley, right? We got to understand that if we were in the front office, like if it's me, Josh, Phil, Celso, if we was a part of the front office, we understand that there are certain parameters that we get to play with that favors us. When it comes to Emanuel Quickley, he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year. So whatever team offers him big time money, you can match that. So that favors the New York Knicks and their front office. Also, the trade deadline is not here yet. If they were to re-sign, or if they were to give Emanuel Quickley a contract extension during the offseason, they wouldn't be able to trade him until after the trade deadline, because that's just how the CBA and the rules are. So we don't know if there's a move that the Knicks front office are eyeing or just keeping their options open, because if someone becomes available, Emanuel Quickley is a good piece to put in any trade package for whatever superstar that you want to bring over here to the Knicks. So it favors you to wait to this off season because he's a restricted free agent. And if there's a trade that comes up that you want to make, you can still have that bullet and Emanuel Quickley as an asset to throw in that trade. Now I'm gonna just step to the side because Uncle Folio is about to draw a bomb.
No, I was gonna say, I was gonna start filibustering just so Josh has to wait even longer. You see him jumping, boy. So
you gonna use the filibuster on me? That's crazy. But heck, I agree with you 100%. I think that the point a lot of people are missing when it comes to trading Quickley right now, Quickley is not worth as much as far as a trade, like it's money. I think it makes like $5 to $7 million, right? If you're going to trade Quickley for a bigger fish, right, you want Quickley to be making somewhere around $20, $25 million. That eats up a large chunk of that contract, and then you have Quickley, and then Fournier, you can move that, and then boom, we're talking about a player you can get back here of some good value, give up some picks, whatever, and we'll get that guy in here. But because the Knicks chose to not pay him, let me just say this. I think this regime is not loyal to the first-round picks that it drafts. Think about it for a second. Emanuel Quickley can't get paid. The biggest way that you can show that you're loyal to a player is by giving him a contract. They didn't want to pay him.
Yeah.
Quentin Grimes on the bench in favor of Dante DiVincenzo. Warranted or not, but whatever. Obi Toppin, where's he? On another team, right? So the Knicks are not really focused on, as the front office, they're not focused on, this whole thing with the young players as much as I thought, right? And to think about it, this is what kind of makes me kind of crazy. Like, I don't understand. If you're not going to be loyal to these picks anyway, why are you holding on to so many of them? What's the point? And then you're not even drafting them. You're not even drafting them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying this because a lot of times I argue with fans and we go back and forth about, well, the Knicks they don't want to trade the picks and all this stuff. They're not drafting them anyway. What's the point? Even if you win and you start winning games and you're a contender, those picks are not going to be high up there anyway. So this notion that, and I don't like the fact that we didn't pay Quickley. I think Quickley should have got paid more than Josh Hart. Period. You know what I mean? But it goes back to this, something is wrong with this philosophy, the defensive philosophy, hustle philosophy, paying $20 million for that, when we need guys who can put the ball in the hole, and Quickley does that for this team, in my opinion. So I just wanted to vent about that. I kind of went all over the place, but hopefully you guys I was trying to say.
This is where you're right. Is the frustrating part is we're preached a defensive-minded team. We're preached a two-sided of the ball. Like, we're preached let the game come to you. We're preached all this stuff. And if you look at on our roster, through and through, who is the player that exemplifies most of those to the T? I would say it's Emanuel Quickley. So for me, that is frustrating. That is frustrating. But I feel like we are an organization that makes a decision based off of the lack of actual direction. I feel like we are a win now with one foot, but let's also see what happens over time with the other foot. And our players get stuck in this weird limbo of New York Knicks organization where it ends up screwing them in the long run. Like, I think a lot of what is happening with some of our players, I even think with Julius Randle, I think some of the ups and downs that come with Julius Randle is saying, hey, here's the keys to the car. And then being like, hey, actually, we're going to take those keys and we're going to downgrade you to this car and give this car to someone else, and now you're having that player have to figure out how to redo things, So I think our organization has really done our players a disjustice, and for me, someone that believes that you truly win by doing everything in the organization, trading, raising up people, free agency, like it has to be all of them, not one, not two, but all three of those things need to be, part of your organization if you want to fully succeed. And I think we've really skipped out on caring about the young guys. And Emanuel Quickley is one of those guys that you would want to build the loyalty to be a franchise type player, because every single year he has gotten revolutionary better. Like, you look at his third year now, to his first year.
And there's several games this season already, Phil, that we can point there and say, if IQ's not in that game, we don't win that game. And there's several of those games already this season, and we're early in the season.
Without IQ, we don't beat the Nets by 20 points. Without IQ. Go ahead, Josh.
I agree to Phil. You said that recently we're starting to see IQ and Brunson at the end of games. No. Me, I saw that. Going back to last season, why you think they took RJ out of games at the end of the game and put Quickley in there? Because that ball handling, right? I think in the beginning of the season, it's the same way. But I think for me, this conversation, because Knicks fans, the ones who are, don't want to do anything, keep everything the way it is. I'm comfortable where I'm at right now. They don't want to see a move turn into like chaos or whatever. Those fans, what I'll say to those fans, and I think maybe you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this. I think Knicks fans who don't want to make any trades and want to keep everything the same are afraid of the expectations that come with contending.
Yeah.
Or having a roster that contends. I'm not saying there's Knicks fans out there that don't want to contend, because I think every Knicks fan wants to contend. They want to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of Knicks fans, because they're so hesitant about making trades, they say these cliche things, all in, but this is an all-in move, right? Cashing in all the young guys and clearing the cupboard, all that stuff that you hear. When it's not necessarily true, because the Knicks have a wealth of assets. But anytime you hear that, I think Knicks fans are afraid of the expectations that come with contending.
Yeah.
Because let's say right now, if this Knicks team somehow gets to the conference finals, right? We were the underdog. No one expected us to be here. Yeah. We good.
Mm-hmm.
We'd rather have it that way. And if we don't make it there, well, no one expected us to be there anyway. But if we were to go out and get that guy and make that move and add to this core like I want, and for some reason one thing happens and we don't get there, it's the expectations that they're afraid of. You know what I'm saying?
I can say for me, I'm more nervous of the front office making a move that, one, is going to drain our assets. Two, it doesn't work out and it pushes us back in the process, right? I'm worried that we make a move and it's like Steve Francis all over again. I know it's a random scenario stuff. No. That's what I'm just worried about, that we trade some of our young picks and our assets for an aging veteran or for a veteran that's past his prime, and they come over here and it's Kemba Walker, it's Steve Francis 2.0.
My thing is, we don't draft them in these picks. We don't draft them anyway. We haven't been.
No. I'm down. No. I'm down to make a move, Josh. But what I'm saying is that I just worry that just because of our bad luck and our history, it's going to be one of those moves that didn't work out. I'm 100% down. We got to trade these picks. We got to move some of these assets. Jericho Sims is not going to develop just coming off of the bench 2 minutes or 3 minutes at a time. I agree with you, Josh. I'm just worried that if we make the wrong move, we're back in NBA purgatory. But I'm with you that a move needs to happen.
I just think it's less likely. The Knicks have too many. They control the next 7 picks, first-round picks. They control. They have a ton of protected picks that they have. They have a trade player exception. Like, this is different than back in the Steve Francis days or the Carmelo days.
Yeah,
right? Like, the Knicks had, you know what I mean? But the Knicks traded their own picks, and they didn't have any backups, no redundancy in their picks. Now we have redundancy and then some. Now we have young players that now, we got DiVincenzo, who makes Grimes expendable completely. Grimes can go. You got him there. You got Obi gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's different now than what it was back then. The Knicks have so much assets now, they can make a move. And even if it doesn't work out, you still can be able to recover. It's not like you're going to be sick. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel.
I mean, for me, and I'll throw to you, Phil, because Josh got the chat fired up, boy. He got Josh.
That's what Uncle Folio does. Uncle Folio pokes the bear.
My God, C-Mac was in the building. What up, my guy? But it kind of goes back to what I was saying the other night or the other morning on the show. Is we're in that catch-22. You've got part of you that has that I don't trust the front office to make the right moves or the multiple moves that need to be made to take that next step. Because a lot of us are on that side of it's not one move that we need. It's not that one player. It's making the right move because we were sold on the defensive strategy. We talk about this time and time again. Now we're sitting here saying, hey, that's not the team we have. We're not you can't sell this fan base on we are a defensive team anymore. So right now we're all asking the same question. What is our vision? That's what we're asking from this front office. What is our next step? Not what's that next player? What route are we going to go so then we can really sit there and focus on the 1 or 2 pieces we need? Who are the pieces you're really willing to let go? Is it going to be that RJ? So I think it's more of the fear of not contending. It's the fear of, will this front office make the right moves to make us that contender? That's the side that I'm on. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah. So I think for me, I am develop the young guys. Let's see them play, give them the opportunities at least. Because when you trade somebody or you don't re-sign them, I think you should do so with 100% confidence that, okay, we've seen everything this player has to offer and it doesn't really fit, what we're going to do, whatever. Regardless of how you feel about the players that they did re-sign or they traded or whatever previously, I think there's always been the question mark. There was the question mark with Obi. There was the question mark with Cam of what exactly they could or couldn't be. Like, no one could say with certainty if you wanted Obi traded, most people were saying, we don't think that he's going to develop into something. It was the we don't think because we never really saw what that person could develop into on our team. There was never that certainty of them saying, we've seen everything, let's trade him. That's a different subject than I don't think he's going to become anything, because that's the question mark. With Emanuel Quickley, the hard thing is that even with restricted minutes this year, even with his minutes being reduced, we're able to see what he can do. And there's only a handful of games that you can't say he did not impact that game for the positive. So now we know what we would be letting go of. Now we know that if we do not re-sign him, if we do not bring him back, we know that he is going to be an issue on another team. Like, he is going to be a benefit for that team. There's no question mark about it. And that would be the harder pill to swallow, because you know what you're letting go of, and you're just like, they want to be here. They busted their ass to be here. And we're letting them go knowing that they can give you 19 to 24 points in 23 minutes. So that's the concerning thing for me, is that we know that IQ has only gotten better every year, and not by like minor increments, but significantly better every year. And to let that walk away when it's us that drafted him, that's a harder pill to swallow for me than all the others that we've moved on from.
Make no mistake about it, I'm not advocating for us to trade Quickley. Again, I'm with you. I think we need to keep Quickley at all costs. But my thing is, pick which way you're going to go. You can't have all these young guys on the team, right? And then at the same, because the Knicks are still a young team. That's an argument that's been thrown back. I mean, the Knicks are still young, give them time, this, and that. But this is not like a Houston type of young. This is a team that has made the playoffs out of the last 3 years. They're much closer to contending than they are back as far as developing young, not developing young players, but as far as being a youthful, inexperienced team, they're much closer to that. So pick a side. Like, if you're going to be all in and be right, because right now the Knicks are teetering at the luxury tax. They're not even over it. They're like just under it. So what are we gonna do? Do you want to win now? I think let's win now. Maximize the years you got in Brunson and Randle, and let's win now. What are we waiting for?
And
you know what I'm saying, it's just that they can send us mixed signals at the front office. I don't know.
And that's the thing why, and this is why I wanted to say what I wanted to say. When it comes to the front office and when it comes to Leon Rose, I'm gonna need Leon Rose to address the media. Talk, have an interview, do something. Let us know the direction that you want to go in as a front office, because from now we haven't. When's the last time we heard Leon Rose speak? My man turned into the Phantom of the Opera. We don't even know how the man sounds nowadays, right? So when it comes to Leon Rose, let us know the direction that you are going to go with the team. I understand we're over 500, and when Knicks fans complaining December 22nd, we're like 6-11, 5 games over, 16-11, 5 games over 500, and we're complaining about our team right now. I know it's just the typical finding the silver lining of things, but
you say it all the time. It's not really complaining though. It goes back to what you just said. It's we're looking for direction. We see, we know the pieces we have. We love our team. We support our team. But when you have to have the conversation of basketball and saying, are we a contender? That's where the conversation is forced on you, because we see the jewels we have. We see the way Randle's playing right now. We see Jalen Brunson. We see, an IQ and what we have. And it's like, man, knowing that you have that, that's the frustrating part, that you feel that you're that close as a fan base. Right?
We shouldn't be getting a Mitchell Robinson injury update from Shams. We shouldn't be getting it from Mitchell Robinson's Instagram. It should be a press release from Leon Rose letting us know, hey, Mitchell Robinson is going to be out for an extended period of time, but us as an organization and us as a front office, we're going to do everything we can to still be competitive and bring someone in. Just that little thing right there. Like I said, we shouldn't be getting the information from Shams. We should be getting it from Leon Rose.
I'm going to, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Brandon London. Yesterday, SNY, New York Post Sports, they had our boy Eddie Presti on there representing the Brew Crew Sports. Such a great little clip. I'll drop it in there, guys, in the chat. If you can, if you're on X, go show it some love. Give it a retweet, give a little shout out. Great job to Eddie yesterday. So if you haven't caught that, check that out. Josh,
I'll be on with
longer.
Yeah, I have about 15 minutes. I'm down.
All right, cool. We're going to drop the open panel link so people, you can start coming up as we're getting ready to segue out with Josh. And go ahead, Heck. I'm gonna get that open panel.
No, I was just gonna say I will be on later with Dexter Henry. We're gonna be recording something talking about the Yamamoto to the Dodgers. So it's gonna be me, another Met content creator, and yeah, Josh, you got a bottle of bourbon for us so we can have the conversation.
Well,
and
Corey's
drink
only
away our
offering it
blues.
to Josh. What's up, Corey? There's others that need help too, my guy. Sorry, I had to.
I mean, I don't understand what I said that was so crazy. I mean, it's literally the truth. Like, I think Knicks fans are afraid of the expectations that come with contending. They don't want those expectations. We'd rather be the underdog and win instead of being the super dog and winning. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's weird because this fan base is so big that you get fans of all sorts, you know? So for me, the fans that are so gung-ho in the draft, I see it. I understand. Okay. The fans that want to win now, they're sick of waiting. I see it. I get it. Like, I've been, you know, I've been a fan. I understand. It's the ones that say, I don't really care about how far we get. I'm just enjoying watching the games. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, I've never wanted to be part of something to just be part of it. Like, if it means like destruct, like, I'm not in a car that goes, hey, I don't actually care if we ever get to our destination. I just want to be in the car. Like, no, after a while, get me out of the freaking car because we're supposed to.
You don't want to have the same Jets vibes that I have to have every season. Okay. Yeah.
So, like, at the end of the day, I want to get somewhere. That's the whole reason I got in the car in the first place. You know, like, yeah, we can have fun in the car, but I eventually want to get out and I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy where we're at. Right now, it's hard to enjoy fully, you know, while we're still in the car. And so that's my whole thing is, like you said, we talked about it with Dexter on our last episode. It's the lack of clarity of what we're doing. Because 1 week it feels like we're a win now team. 1 week it looks like, hey, we're not a win now team. What are we doing? Are we trading for that star and, you know, blowing up the young guys that we've emotionally like invested in? Or are we going to stick with the young guys and we're going to ride it out a little bit? Which is it? Just tell us. And that's the problem, Heck, is like, I feel like the front office feels like, hey, if we don't talk about it, we have a stronger hand. It's kind of like a game of poker. You know, sit down at the table, don't show your hand. But the problem is with all the things that our front office has done to piss people off, no one's coming to play with us anyway. Like, no one's sitting at the table to try and play the game of trades with the Knicks unless it's going to cost us a hell of a lot. So it doesn't, like, benefit us as a fan base to have that question mark if the question mark isn't actually being beneficial to us in the end. It's just getting us frustrated. It's not giving us an upper hand in not knowing the direction.
I just want to point out something. We got over 55 people watching us across all platforms, over 45 people on YouTube. If you guys can't smack that like button, we are sitting at 27 likes on YouTube. Smack the like button. Let's get the stream up to 40 likes on this stream. And also, we're at 2,184 subscribers. If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. If not, Uncle Folio is going to steal your candy. Go ahead.
What's up, King Ribby in the building? Alawise is in the building. Ron, still Knicks fans, is in the building. I want to bring this one up. Obviously, got Josh here, but Jay Boogie, right now, would you trade RJ Grimes, IQ Fournier, and 4 first-round draft picks unprotected for Kobe White, the DeRozan, and Levine?
I would consider it. I'll consider it because you had DeRozan and Levine to Brunson and Randle. That's firepower right there. That's firepower.
Then you get Kobe White to come off the bench for IQ. Go ahead, Josh. My fault.
Yeah. I mean, Kobe White, to me, I think he's not going to give you everything IQ does. You're going to lose an IQ off the bench, right? That's probably the big loss there. But as far as DeRozan and Levine replacing RJ, easy work, easy day for me. Grimes, expendable. You got DiVincenzo. And then Fournier, he ain't playing. And then the 4 first-round picks, you just have to be comfortable with, giving up 4 first-round picks, which I would possibly be okay with, because you still have a lot more in the cupboard. It's not like the Knicks are completely screwed. You know what I mean? So I would consider this. I'll have to take a look at it. DeRozan, got to kind of re-sign him.
Yeah, it's to me the only thing that makes me worry about it, and this is the thing that I was kind of hinting at earlier, is is Zach LaVine. One, his contract, and two, his injury history. Those are the only concerns that I have when it comes to Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine, he missed a lot of games in his career due to injuries, and when you look at his contract is not very team friendly, and this is something you got to consider, especially when you have both Jalen and Julius Randle, who may be opting out of their contracts over the next couple of years to re-up and get a big time extension. So I'm just worried about Zach LaVine and his health, and if he can actually be healthy for the duration of that contract.
And here's the thing: is I haven't seen that really be a dynamic duo out in Chicago. I know we'd have some different pieces, but you've seen the attitude and perception that Zach LaVine has caused for himself over these last few months. You've seen the way that he has responded to his teammates and just the organization in general. And I feel like we're kind of coming out of that with Julius Randle. I know we saw one or two spurts in the beginning of the season, but we're kind of enjoying not seeing that, not having that dysfunctional, we're starting to see players actually play together. And I feel like bringing a Zach LaVine in totally ruffles that whole thing. Totally ruffles it.
Phil, ask yourself why LaVine was doing that, though. Because his team stinks.
Well, yeah,
they stink. That's why.
I'm just so tired of that name, though. I've said it before. LaVine, why is he always attached to the damn
And
Knicks?
This is the thing, is LaVine has multiple times has said he does not want to play for Tibbs. He does not want to come to the Knicks. The last thing I want is to bring a freaking guy that's been complaining about the organization and our coach and being hey, come be part of our organization and our coach. We're actually building, some chemistry between players. We know you don't want to be here. Let's make it happen. I personally don't want that. I like DeRozan, and I just don't see. I feel like all we're going to become is an older version of the Pacers, where players can score on us without any doubt. You take out Grimes, IQ, and RJ, which are the three guys that, whether they play great defense in a game or not, they're at least the guys that are trying to play defense every single game. You bring in Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, who are not great defenders, and you have a lineup of Jalen Brunson, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Julius Randle. You're telling me that those four teams are going to actually play defense against some of these elite teams like the Celtics offensively, or the Bucks, or the Timberwolves?
To me, they wouldn't have to play that level of defense like they're doing now. To me, it goes back to that conversation of that whole defensive first mentality. No, you got to have guys that can put the ball in the hole and then worry about getting stops on the back end. That's how you have to win in today's NBA. Of course. I'm not saying you don't need any defense.
But I think Boston has three guys that two of them, are not the greatest defenders. If I'm going to put all NBA team, as much as I like Tatum and as much as I like Brown, I'm not putting them in an all defensive team. Just not happening. They are going to score, and they are going to score at will. But then you get a Porzingis who isn't the greatest in the paint, but he's still a good defender, can jump out. You have some defense there. But then you pair them with a Drew Holiday. That changes everything, because now you have an elite defender to make up for all the mediocrity of defenders around you. With DeMar DeRozan and LaVine pairing with a Jalen Brunson and Randle, there is no defense. There is no defensive anchor to bail us out.
Well, but that depends on Mitch, the whole Mitch conversation, if you were willing to keep Mitch Robinson around or not. I get where you're coming from with that. But this is where how I look at it.
That score in the paint and in the mid-range, and Mitch. That's not going to work. Mitch don't move.
No. Well, Jalen Brunson is a really good catch and shoot player from three now. I think he's shooting almost 50% from three, right?
Yeah,
I think Randle,
especially on the catch and shoot.
On the catch and shoot, and not to mention LaVine is his true shooting percentage is through the roof. He can really shoot the basketball, right? So I think it could work. I just think again, I don't think offense and defense are on a seesaw. I don't think the more offense you have, the less defense you're going to have. I think you have to have some defense, clearly, obviously. I just think that in moments, I'd rather have I'll put it to you this way. I'd rather have a great offensive team, decent defensive team, rather than a great defensive team and a decent offensive team. And I feel like right now the Knicks, I feel like the Knicks are trying to do that. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like you can.
It was elite and horrible, not elite and decent. It's elite and horrible.
I see what
horrible. You think that's horrible?
I see what Josh is saying.
Would be horrible. I
see what Josh is saying when it comes to the offense, because when it comes to our Knicks offense, we're mostly trying to catch up and shut teams down with our defense instead of us building a lead and then trying to play defense to keep that lead, right? That's how I see when it comes to our Knicks. I want to point out a couple of super chats real quick.
Yeah, I was about to knock that out real quick. Double A, a little late to the party, but he's here. Our boy keeping the lights on with the 499 super chat. Merry Christmas, crew. Folio. Let's package all picks into one? Question mark. Yeah.
Shout out to Double A.
Wiz Grimes 48 protected +1 pick for Laurie.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that. I don't like the
easily.
fit.
Easily.
I don't like the fit defensively. I don't know how that's gonna. I mean, I know Laurie. He's more of a 4 than a 3. Offensively, it can work, but defensively is why I have a little bit of concern. But for that, oh yeah, easy day.
Yeah. And we got Paris Duggar with the $5 super chat.
Paris only add A1 guy to Brunson and Randle. DeRozan is the best short-term option who does what we need. Big bucket getter, rebounds, sees the floor.
Yep.
I guess a lot of people, and I think he put it in there right afterwards.
I definitely agree.
I agree.
I definitely agree.
The good thing about DeRozan is his contract's coming up, so
after the season.
You get him at this season, you see if it's even worth, moving forward with. Like, it gives you, so many people are like, you want to do something like that for a rental? Like, well, yeah, because in order for us to progress, something has to change. We know that. So why not at least test the waters before making a huge decision on moving forward? You bring someone in for 3-4 years and it doesn't work out, that's a sticky mess, as opposed to bringing someone in for half a season and going, yo, this works, let's extend them. Or this does not work, let's let them go. That's the better option to me.
The Knicks have all the leverage in that move, by the way, because DeRozan's not going to stay in Chicago. So Chicago might as well get whatever they can from him, trade him to the Knicks, do right by him. I think we can definitely make that move without giving up anything, really.
And I think the Knicks, they have one trade exception left over from when they traded Obi Toppin. So they could actually make that move happen and it won't cost us that much. Shout out to MIG as well. We put the link for the open panel in the chat. If you're going to come up here for the open panel, just always remember, we got to respect the terms and services when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to Instagram, when it comes to Facebook, and when it comes to Twitter as well. So please be respectful to everybody that's on the panel. If somebody is in the middle of giving their take, allow them to finish, because the same time will be given to you. And I know we be having a lot of people on the open panel, so if you guys can't keep your answers very short, sweet, directly to the point, so we could pass it around to everybody so everybody could get involved. So who do you want to bring up first?
Well, I'm fixing up the screen right now. I think I see our boy Jay Boogie, aka the closer, backstage. Boogie, give me that thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to come rock. Yes, sir. Let me hit it here. Boogie!
J Boog, what it do?
Salute. 3 capital S's. Blessing, health, happiness to everybody on this beautiful coming in the holiday weekend. I hope you got all your gifts wrapped up. I hope you got all your love, your friends, your family, everybody secured around you. Take care of your business because it only comes around once a year, and this is the end of the year, the last holiday before we go into the new year and celebrate, man. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the morning brew. I had to drink back, throw it back real quick. Shout out to my youngest Uncle Folio, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all guys do amazing and great job, man. I love y'all work. I love y'all energy, man. It's always up. It's never level. It's never level cross. It's never going down. It's always up, man. Appreciate y'all to the fullest, man. And I call up here. I've been listening to the whole show, rocking with y'all. I ain't got too much to say because some other people, you know what I'm saying, they probably in the back, get ready to come through. but I come to give y'all some breaking news. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of breaking news. Nothing too serious, but it's breaking news for me and my family and my hard work and my energy. I just wanted to share with y'all. Y'all the first ones I'm sharing it with. As of today, Jay Boogie is official vendor with the New York Knicks. So I just wanted to share that with y'all.
Congratulations, Jay Boogie. Congratulations. Salute to you, Unc. You deserve it all. Yeah, I know we've talked on the phone. Everything that you got coming your way, Jay Boogie, you definitely deserve it, man. Trials and tribulations, you're proof that you could go through hell and wind up good on the other side, Jay Boogie. Much love and respect, Unc.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Y'all was live, so I wanted to come up here and share. I'm gonna go around and share with everybody because Jay Boogie couldn't be Jay Boogie without these podcasts. Jay Boogie couldn't be Jay Boogie without the chats at all. Period. I need y'all all to know and understand that there's no such thing as Jay Boogie without podcasts and without the chats. You know what I'm saying? Y'all my bigger brothers and my bigger sisters too that's in the chat and in the podcast. But we got females running shows and everything. But I can't be me, you know what I'm saying, outside of my ordinary self and become a person, you know what I'm saying, that somebody else all love and appreciate. So everything I do, I work hard for the podcast and I work hard for the chat. And whatever happens for me is a reflection from everybody else, you know. So as I go along doing what I'm doing, everybody else is going along with me. Because I'm always going to be on the podcasts. I'm always going to be in the chats, you know what I'm saying. I'm always going to try to do whatever I can do to make sure everybody maintain their lights. But I just want to come up here and rock that.
Well,
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Boog, number one, congrats, my guy. But
Thank you, man.
I just want to let it be known, like, for those of you in the chat, Boogie don't say positive things just to say that he cares about your health and wellness, okay? Just to say it. I've been dealing with the flu now for the last 10 days. The crazy, sick, super flu, pulling off these shows. And this man right here has gone out of his way multiple times to check on me and my kids, make sure we good. Jay Boogie, I said it in the text. I say it right now. I appreciate you, bro. Just that little thing. People don't realize how big of a deal that goes. So congratulations, flowers to you. Deserve it, my guy. And
I want to echo that because I dropped the ball big time on Boogie was waiting on a verse for me for this Christmas remix, and things started going crazy with me and the household and the fam, and we just had a whole bunch of stuff to figure out. And when I apologized, I was like, Boog, I'm sorry I dropped the ball. He's like, bro, your family comes first. Like, you take it, you know. So he's the kind of guy that puts others before himself. So I got to ask, Boog, you're a vendor. What does that look like? What can we expect from this season of Jay Boogie?
I don't know yet. I ain't even sat down to try to, figure out anything. But, I just, wanted to share that with y'all. I know I'm able to bring ideas and things, amongst the organization as far as the entertainment size. You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations.
I ain't got nothing to do with the office. I don't want nobody to think that I got nothing to do with that. So don't come asking me no questions.
Said, don't call me asking me for tickets.
I ain't got no tickets. I don't know what my situation is. And also, with my daughter, she graduating her college course, you know what I'm saying, out there through Full Sail University out there, on the graphic entertainment side, you know what I'm saying? So she's going to be able to help out. We're going to put our heads together and see what type of new ideas, entertainment ventures, that we could do. Because us as elders, we've been rocking with the Knicks for a long time, and we've been getting through a lot of years and everything.
Facts.
But sooner or later, you know what I'm saying, the younger crowd, the younger generations and everything, they're going to have to come through and carry the torch and be loyal and respectful and hold down the fort, even through the tough times, as we all have done. You know what I'm saying? So my daughter, she's going to be helping out. We're going to be trying to create, entertainment things, you know what I'm saying, that, so the New York Knicks can continue on striving on, for the younger crowds to come in and replace us. And hopefully they be the hard and dedicated fans like we are for years and years.
Shout out to your daughter. I did my courses at Full Sail, man. That's where I finished my last year of college. So great program over there. Yeah. Great with everything they do from production to graphic design. Full Sail's no joke. Man, Jay Boog. I guess everybody just drop a little bit of that right there.
Yeah,
drop it. Let's go.
Jay Boogie, I seen you, trying to hold back, whatever. When you get a second, let that shit go.
Listen,
Don't try to hold it back. Just let it go.
I'm wiping my teardrops of joy as I'm on. I don't have to hide.
Let it go. Let it go. You deserve it, J Boog.
When you deal with pain and go through things that hurt you in life, you cry. You know what I'm saying? Tears come out. But when you go through things, enjoyment, you know what I'm saying? God lets you know that's tears of joy. Don't hold me back. I give you joy as well as being there with you for pain. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on my, you know what I'm saying, my Rob right now, you know what I'm saying, joy and pain, but I like sunshine and rain.
Jay, I'm gonna say it on here, bro. I know your daughter's graduating from Full Sail. Yeah. As someone who is in the creative field, I know the first few years are always the hardest to try to find your footing. If it's anything that's in the, photo, video, music realm, reach out to me. Wherever she's at, try to connect her with people that are established so that she doesn't have to spend those first few years trying to figure it out. If I have somebody in that industry, we'll connect.
Oh, most definitely. I am. I got you. Listen, I got you. What Nino say? I got paperwork on everybody. Not in that form though, but I got dibs on everybody that know how to do each and everything it is, on you know what I'm saying, inside this New York Knicks community. And that's what's so much more beautiful about us, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not just podcast creators, we're not just chat, you know what I'm saying, trollers and all that. We are a professional businessmen, businesswomen, bosses, owners, career, succeeding, successful people, you know what I'm saying? And I know everything that I be doing or trying to reach out with somebody, it has something to do with somebody being up under the New York Knicks umbrella, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know everybody degrees and everything, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. I
got that Rolodex. Don't worry, I got this. Right. You already tapped in there. I got this.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. One more thing, and I'm gonna jump out, man. January 29th, man, it's around the corner.
Do it.
I don't put the super chat, but I'm Jiggaman and Folio. We got to do something for us. January 29th in our third crib, because Atlanta's our second. Just like I said, third is Charlotte. Second is Atlanta. You know where home is at. That's in Manhattan, Middle East. But, man, we got to do something, man. We got to do something, man, coming down for the 29th.
I texted you, and I told you I'd get back with you after this weekend. We get through Christmas. I talked to 2 locations already out near the Hornets Arena that we can either do a pregame or a postgame where we can go hang out, maybe set up, do a little content, a little something. If we don't want to do content, we can record ourselves drinking our asses off, whatever it is. But I agree with you, man. We got to get those of us out here in the Carolinas. Let's get a meetup going. Let's make sure we land
definitely a big community in the Carolinas. Definitely a big community in the Carolinas. A lot of Knicks fans out here.
All right. I'll come up. It's fine.
All right. I'll come down. You twist my arm.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, man. That's what I'm trying to do, man.
It reminds me, if anyone in the chat is in Orlando, my guy Eddie Presti hit me up yesterday and was like, yo, I'm taking you to the game on the 29th in Orlando. So him and I are going to be going to the new, I guess, Kia Center, as it's called now, in Orlando. So if you are a Knicks fan that's going to be in Orlando December 29th, hit us up, because me and Eddie want to do something either before or after the game and create some content with some fans down there, because we all know that Orlando might as well be home number 4, because last time I was there, we cheered them out of the building. So let's do it. Connect with us. Hit me or Eddie up in our DMs, and we'll set something up.
J Boog, man, happy holidays. Merry Christmas, my guy. Congrats on everything. We'll let you get out of here. The closer, ladies and gentlemen, J Boog. And if you haven't, go check out the Christmas remix. Go check out the breaking news. You know what we do. Later, Boog.
Yo, peace.
J Boog. Folio, I know you said you had an extra 15 minutes. I know you got to get out of here right now.
We gave him that Puerto Rican time. He said 15 minutes, 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry. We got somebody else backstage we're going to bring up after we let Folio go. But Folio, let the people know again where they can find you on all social media platforms and as well on YouTube before you get out of here, my brother.
Twitter, or otherwise what's formerly known as Twitter, X, at Uncle Folio. On YouTube, I'm on the Nothing But Knicks network. The name of my show is called The Controversy with a K. Definitely check me out if you want to hear some controversial takes. And mind you, just folks, I just need you to understand one thing. I'm not just being controversial just for the sake of it, being devil's advocate for the sake of it. I really feel this way. I try to be as objective as I can. I don't like hypocrisy. If you come on here on my show with some hypocrisy, I'm gonna call you out, right?
Mhm.
So that's just how I operate. Like it or not, love it or not, whatever. That's just me. Thank y'all. I really appreciate that. Knicks Morning Brew, Hector, Phil, Jiggaman. I really like what y'all doing. Y'all doing some really good things out there. Keep up the good work. I'm gonna keep, feeding you that positive energy because y'all doing some really good stuff, man. So
I appreciate
thank you for having me
Josh.
on. I really appreciate that. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, y'all. For real.
Same. Likewise to you and your fam, brother. Peace, Josh.
Yo, we got our boy. Listen, we dropped the link. We're going to rock maybe for another 15, 20 minutes. If you got
About like
your takes
15
you
minutes,
want to get off, come on real quick. We drop the link in there. We always say the same thing. Be respectful. Follow the terms and conditions. Don't be a douchebag. Our boy Double A is in the
What up?
Double A, what it
I'm not
do?
gonna lie, Double A, but I'm not going to lie to you, bro. Before your super chat came in, I was like, damn. Double A hasn't been in the chat today. I hope he all right. And then bam, you came out of nowhere. There he was.
Oh yeah,
So
ain't gonna miss it. I ain't gonna miss the crew. Hey Phil, is that a fresh cut under that hat?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir,
Hey,
boy.
lindo, está lindo, papi, está lindo.
Man.
Muy guapo, muy guapo.
Yeah. So what's up, fellas?
Chilling,
Hey,
Double
man.
A.
I came in late, as you can see, but you guys hit that Becky Hammon diss.
Becky, well, we talked about it earlier, but you know what? The floor is yours, Double A. If you want to talk your mind, talk your ish about the Becky.
No,
Hammon
she ain't worth the
situation.
time, bro. She ain't worth the time. She ain't worth the time, bro. She's spitting garbage, man. You know, all short men everywhere. She's spitting garbage, man. You know, she got hate in her heart, man. Come on now, Jalen Brunson.
Man.
Damn, what the brother got to do, man, to get some respect, huh?
So here's I'll update you since you weren't here, because you might not like to hear this, but most of us didn't have a problem with her take because she wasn't discrediting him as a player. She was discrediting him as that 1A top tier of the league kind of player. And if you look at it, as much as I love Jalen Brunson, at the end of the day, if you tell me that I have to bank on a Steph Curry in a 7-game finals series or a Luka Doncic or a Jason Tatum, I'm not sure yet. Not even Jason, because Jason, I guess, is like one of the ones that is close to there. But the Giannis's and, those kind of players and the Jokic's, I don't, as much as I like Brunson and think he's an elite player, I don't think he's at that next level yet. Like she even said, he's an all-star. He's probably all NBA, but he's not tier 1A. And I have to agree with her because there are a lot of players that I think are at his tier, but he's not at that next tier yet. And I don't have a problem with it because we've all talked about how his height has been an issue at times throughout the season. Like there are a lot of games by the fourth quarter, he's exhausted because he's shooting over a bigger team trying to create that bucket. So I don't think, as a shorty myself, who's 5'5", like I don't have an issue with her saying that his height is one of the things that keeps him from that and him not being a 1A tier player, because I don't think he is. Could he become a 1A tier player? Maybe, but do I think he's there yet? No.
No, I agree with you, but she can't say it's out of the realm, man. All she got to do is look at Allen Iverson. And if you want to go back to my glory days, back with Tiny Archibald and them guys, Calvin Murphy, I mean, you had some short guys that were boss, man.
Yeah, but
but guys overcome. But I see your point, Phil.
She's talking about winning. What did Iverson, like, as great of a player is, one of my favorite players of all time? What championship did Iverson bring home?
Yeah, well, he played with some bumps, though, man.
He did.
That's what I was gonna say. It's more about like roster construction. There's a lot of context that are missing in her analysis, because she brought up Stephen Curry, but if that team wasn't constructed and built with Klay Thompson and Draymond Green to complement Stephen Curry, how many championships is Curry winning without Draymond and Klay? So there's some context that was missing. But I see what Double A is saying. It's just whenever somebody talks about us Knicks,
it's my Knicks, man. It's my Knicks.
It's defensive. You get defensive. It's like back in the day, Double A. You remember, the Brooklyn Dodgers, right? If anybody called them a bum, We getting defensive. Those are
Oh,
our
yeah.
bums. Only we
Right,
can
we
call
call
them the
them bums.
bums. Yeah, you
Right,
can't
right.
call them bums. Only we can call them bums.
You're right about that. Now
Yeah.
here's my question. Phil was saying a bunch of confusion. Phil, are we all in or are we all out? Sometimes we're halfway in, halfway out, or we win now, win later. What's what? My thing is, we missed a big opportunity, I think, this last off season because we were really about going after the chip. I mean, sometimes you got to overpay and sometimes you got to take a chance because it looks like that's the only way we're going to get it done is A, either draft and get something or B, overpay. You know what I'm saying? But we had a chance to get George, and I don't know, man. I just think that maybe something could have been deeper worked out, like maybe an extension based on performance, games played, or something. But I mean, imagine this team, fellas, with Paul George on it, and then the other guy that we missed on, Drew Holiday. Now imagine those two guys in our lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, and hold on, I want to bring this up. Ally Wise, Peace God, who says, heck, Draymond, Clay, and Steph all small, all for their position, which makes her take even worse. No, 100% facts, Ally. Facts. That's why I said, like, would Steph Curry win as many championships if he didn't have that team properly constructed around them? Because yes, you had the big three: Clay, Steph, Draymond, but Andre Iguodala, as a veteran, he played the big part of those teams winning championships. Andrew Bogut, as a big body center, he played the big part of those teams winning championships as well. So there's some context that was missing in that conversation that they were having. Now, when you look back on the history of the NBA and when you look at the track record of championship teams, yes, they are right. Not that many small players are part of championship teams as the number one option. They are absolutely right. But at the same time, we are in a different NBA right now. This is an offense-driven league right now. It's more offense than defense. So it's yet to see that if that old school formula is the way to go going forward in the new modern day NBA.
Paris made a good comment just now.
Yeah,
Isaiah Dumars, yeah.
So, guys, but before we wrap up, I got my doctor's appointment at 1 o'clock. Double A, I want your take while we have you real quick, and always appreciate you joining us on the open panel. What are you doing when it comes to the center situation? Now that Mitch is gone, we were touching on that earlier in the conversation. A lot of people gave us their answers in the chat. You know, are you looking at, hey, we go and trade for a big man? Are you on the go pick up just somebody off free agency? Is there someone specific in your mind?
Not really, but I think we definitely need somebody, though. I don't think we go as is, Maybe I think, when getting back to my overpaying scenario, I'd really at least try to see what the asking price is for our boy, marketing. I would at least check to see what the going rate with them because, I'm of the opinion right now, and I'm starting to weigh on me because I'm a big Spider Mitchell fan. I just don't think he's a fit for us versus somebody like Morrison. I think Markison is more of a need for us. And I think getting somebody like that, I mean, he can spot play, a few minutes here and there at center as well, But I definitely think that we need somebody to back him up.
No, and I love that you've been on the marketing thing for a couple of weeks now, so we can go back and cut it. You've been preaching marketing, so the fact that you're still there, that's dope.
Yeah. Me and Phil, us Florida boys, we stick together. So if you're thinking about that Carolina thing, let me know, Phil. I'm in Clearwater, Tampa area.
Well, I'm in Tampa. Like I said, message me, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, and
cool.
Phil and Eddie are hooking up for that Magic game. They're all going to be out there, man. Hit us up.
And I'll be in Tampa for the New Year's and stuff like that. So Phil, I know we probably won't be able to catch a game, but if we want to link up, go to a bar and watch a game, Knicks game at a bar, I'm down to go. Double A, I'll be in Tampa and stuff like that. So we'll figure it out.
Yo, Double A, Merry Christmas, my guy.
Peace, man. Merry Christmas, fellas.
Double A, my email's in the chat. Hit me up.
Right.
We'll trade numbers and we'll link up.
All right, brother. Good to see you guys, man. Merry Christmas,
Happy
man.
holidays.
Christmas, Well, you know what, guys? He was trying to come in for a while, and I think he just got his camera working. So before we wrap, and then we'll give our final takes. I see Wiz is back there. Wiz, did we leave any takes for you? I know you.
Wiz, I'm sorry.
Here.
I try not to steal your takes, right? I try the best that I can, Wiz.
You stole them all again except for one. How you doing, gentlemen?
Chilling, General. Chilling.
I love
Hope
you
all
guys.
is well.
I love you guys.
I appreciate you, Wiz.
Two quick takes. I'm on the marketing train. I was a Kuzma guy. He's my backup. But Laurie is the man. Salary, skill set, height. I just think he's the guy who can fill in so many spots. Backup center, definitely the 3 or 4. Push RJ to the 2. We can retain RJ, Randle, so we can retain everybody. And go ahead, give Angel what he wants. He wants those picks. Give him the picks. Let's get him, make him happy, feel like he robbed us. But those protected picks, I don't want them because they're all going to be either not converting right, or change to second rounds, or Milwaukee picks going to still be high. So we're not going to play the plays anyway. So let's go ahead. Let's get marketing now. But my real take was about sponsor, Uncle Folio. So that's my great grandson, Josh. A great grandson. I don't know. Our age is different. Even though he's in the Navy, I was in the Marine Corps. So, we're a real man, and he's trying to be, So, with Josh Hart, although I'm not a huge Josh Hart, fan, I like his game. His salary, though, should be adjusted for the fact that he actually retained his $12 million this year. So it should be adjusted for that. He could have walked away and gotten $18 million last year. So I don't know if you guys see that take already. But he could have actually said, gone free agency, gotten a salary of, let's say 18 or so last year. So if you put in 12 mil this year and average it out for the next 3 years, then he's down to almost 15, 16. And that made me more digestible for Josh, for Uncle Folio. So that's why I want to defend him a little bit because he did us solid. And we paid him back, rewarded him for it by giving him a couple million extra because he sat down this year with a $12 million salary. So I'm going for that. And that's the one thing I want to go against with Josh with. So I'm going to chop on here, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wiz was able to come up and have 2 takes that weren't taken. Yeah, buddy. Yes. Merry Christmas. Appreciate you always tuning in, bro. We appreciate the support.
Appreciate
have a great
you, Riz.
Christmas. Happy holidays, bro.
Peace, Chance. Peace. Thank you.
That's my guy, Wiz.
I think
fellas.
That's a wrap. We got Heck. You going out to the game tomorrow with OmniFans? That's gonna be dope.
Hold on,
ahead,
right? Because we went this entire episode without bringing it up, and I know we about to wrap up right now. But fellas, this is episode 100 of the Knicks Morning Brew. Episode 100 of the Knicks Morning Brew. Shout out to the entire community that have been supporting us over these 100 episodes over on Yanks Morning Brew, Jets Evening Brew, Phil's Nightcap. Shout out to all of you guys that have been supporting the channel. We are over 2,000 subscribers. We started this journey back in February of March. And we haven't even hit a calendar year, and we're almost to 3,000 subs. So, Phil, Celso, I love you, brothers. I love you guys. I appreciate this a crazy ass adventure we are on. Shout out to our guy Jerry Ferrara, our other brother who joined us on this amazing adventure. Everybody that's in the chat: Ron, John, Paris, Duggar, DSJ, Ally Wise. There's a lot of great guys that are in the community that support us. My guy Stapper Don, who's always holding it down. Blood of the Panther, top moderator of all the moderators. We just started. We're gonna have a lot of good things for 2024. Best believe that. Best believe that.
I will make it clear in case someone hit me up. We will not have an episode on Monday, people.
I was gonna say next time we talk, we would have played the Bucks twice. And we'll talk about how that fared for us. But it wouldn't even make sense for us to go live on Monday at 11 a.m. because the game is at 12. So open your gifts, watch your game, enjoy your family time, and we will see you on Wednesday of next week.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I love you guys. Thank you guys all for the support. We appreciate you. Spread the word, share, hit the sub, hit the like. Feliz Navidad.